Welcome everyone to the Code 50th Anniversary Launch Celebration. Code acknowledges that our association spans land across Turtle Island, which is the traditional territory of many Indigenous peoples. We honor them as the original storytellers and stewards of this land. May we never forget their legacies, and may we learn well the lessons their descendants have to teach us about living on and with the earth. We will practice this sign of respect, acknowledge the rich history of these lands and Indigenous nations, honor the truth of the past, and uphold our original treaty, the Two-Row Wampum, to peacefully care for the land and each other through our drama and dance practices. My name is Matthew Sheehan, and I'm one of the co-chairs of this anniversary launch committee, along with my other co-chair, Daniel Lalonde, and members, Michael Wilson, Judith Doan, Christine Jackson, Sherry Ann Byrne, and Tessa Loftus. I would like to thank the Code Management Board for the annual general meeting this morning, and the committee responsible for the creation of the David Booth Tribute. It is fitting that we look back at David's contributions to Code prior to looking at how we will celebrate Code moving forward. Code has a long and storied history and a bright and vibrant future. We are here today to begin one full year of celebrating Code, culminating in our October 2021 conference in Hamilton. Code has brought us all together as drama and dance educators. One thing that we need to always remind ourselves is that Code is not the management board, or the annual conference, or workshops. Code is the membership. We together are Code. Thank you for joining us for our 50th anniversary celebration launch. Now I'd like to pass it over to my partner, Daniel Lalonde.
Hey everybody, my name is Daniel Lalonde, and I've been a member of Code for 10 years now, both as a delegate and as a member of the board. And I'm incredibly honored and excited to be a part of this very special day for Code. Now, since its inception, Code has been a passion project for so many volunteers. The incredible minds over the past 50 years who have worked to create a space for drama and dance educators to come together and share and hone their craft has had an impact on classrooms all over this province, country, and world. Code has always been more than just a subject association. It's an organization that constantly stands in the defense of drama and dance. Through conferences, workshops, writing projects, journals, social media platforms, the way that Code has celebrated, challenged, and developed drama and dance education in Ontario is a testament to the tireless work of so many passionate players. The 50th anniversary is a celebration of every student, artist, and educator who has been involved in or felt the impact of this very important work. With the constantly evolving landscape of arts education, Code has always looked at their elected presidents as the creative collaborators who, with the board, navigate the way forward for drama and dance education. The time that Code presidents, all volunteers, have put into this work is immense. As we reflect on Code's history and look forward to Code's future, I'd like to introduce you to some of those presidents over the past 50 years. Listen to their stories, listen to their reflections. They have brought drama and dance to where it is today. Enjoy.
My name is Michael Wilson, and I began teaching in 1965 with a subject at that time called theater arts. And at the time there was no internet, and we had just discovered the push-button telephone. And so the only way to obtain resources easily is to contact other people who were also in the same teaching situation. While we began that locally, it soon became apparent in the next couple of years that we needed to have a provincial association of like-minded drama teachers. And so under the leadership of Helen Dunlop, we managed to get together for our first annual conference of the Council of Drama and Education in May of 1971 on the downtown campus, Queen's University. And so it's my honor as your first president of Code to begin to pass the torch. To Code.
My name is Wayne Fairhead. I was president of Code from 1982 to 1984. Previously, I had edited an issue of Drama Contact and co-coordinated a Code conference. The 80s were hectic years for Code. We were facing the results of a major review of what secondary education should look like in the future. Dramatic arts forecasts were not encouraging. With the implementation of the ministry document on Ontario schools, intermediate and senior, it was a time of struggle for survival. We had to lobby hard as the computer-centered trust dominating curriculum development needed a more balanced approach. Code was instrumental in creating a Ministry of Education conference entitled Learning Through Drama, and other good news was the highly praised implementation of the ministry's drama in the formative years. At this time, the growth of drama in Ontario schools paralleled a backdrop of tremendous growth in Canadian theatre. Code was beginning to establish meaningful partnerships with other art subject associations, the community, and international drama or education organisations. The annual Spring International Children's Festival at Harbourfront in Toronto was extremely popular with Code members. It showcased drama in action by and for children and youth from across the country and around the world. During my time as president, we were in building mode with many challenges, but lots of optimism. Thanks to the many volunteers who made and continue to make Code an amazing advocate, support, and resource.
I'm Judith Doan, president of Code in 1985 and 86, when it was the Council of Drama and Education. The 1980s was an untroubled decade. As in the past, our ministry document writing teams continued to influence content and philosophy. Drama Contact, our journal, remained noteworthy. Code members received a newsletter every 3 months by snail mail, and in 1986, its banner became Touchstone. Perhaps because my first position with Code was as conference chair, Code conferences always held a special place in my heart, and those from 81 to 86 at the Bayview Wildwood Resort were terrific. Here there were rustic cottages, a central lodge providing functional workshop spaces, and a splendid out-of-doors environment. Like today, on offer were exceptional workshops where the learning was in the doing. I remember very fondly the ensemble dramas led by Bob Barton and David Booth, which involved everyone and which were a mainstay that united and energized the group. If you were the only drama teacher in your school, as I was, Code was a lifeline. In 1987, when the resort became too small to accommodate Code's growing membership, the conferences became hotel-based. Changes were on the horizon in the 1990s, but that is the story 2 other Code presidents will share.
Hi, I'm Dennis Johnson. In the winter of 1991, I was living in Stratford-upon-Avon in England, working on an MA with David Davis and Dorothy Heathcote. Lucky me. One day, I received a phone call from Jenny Dowson in Canada, who wanted to know if I would like to be the next president of Code. And I said yes. Lucky me. Meanwhile, in Stratford, Ontario, Ron Dodson was hard at work rewriting the Constitution for Code, and Code developed a much stronger and more versatile group of leaders. 2-year terms, 4-year limits, very professional. We moved our board meetings to the big table at Theatre Ontario. And about a year later, we moved to the top floor of Theatre Books. And now, Theatre Ontario and Theatre Books are no longer with us to help celebrate this 50th anniversary. And we do miss them. On an even sadder note, I recall that was the era of Grey Days. By the time I retired as Code president, every teacher in the province was teaching fewer days with a pay cut of thousands of dollars. So I retired in 1994 and handed the job of president over to Ron Dodson. Lucky me.
Hi there. I was Code's president from 1994 to 1997. I'm Ron Dodson. I suspect that my teaching story is much like yours. My first few years were spent trying to figure out the what, the how, and particularly the why of teaching drama. I taught mostly by myself without support, and after a while, it started to feel a bit hollow. My first Code conference was at Bayview Wildwood Resort north of Aurelia. It changed my career. I met people who were also searching for connections, paths, and methods to serve their students better. It was a stimulating weekend, and I came back on Monday after learning a lot, creatively refreshed. Code became my touchstone. After attending many conferences, I joined the board in 1992, 28 years ago. My years as president coincided with Mike Harris's term as premier, which was chaotic, to say the least, but drama and dance gained legitimacy through the creation of strong and credible provincial curricula. 1997 was a watershed year for Code when passionate advocates made the case that dance, as an art form, needed a better home than it had at the time. At the 1997 Code Conference at Hockley Valley, Code became the Council of Drama and Dance in Education. On behalf of all the colleagues with whom I have worked on the Code Management Board, and especially my dedicated, energetic Vice Presidents, Carol Dawson and Jane DeLuzio, congratulations, Code, on your 50th anniversary.
(2000 to 2010) was a very busy time for Code. I was pleased to serve as drama liaison, president following Steve Russell, and then as past president. Our mantra became full transparency and action. So our meetings focused on the decisions that we made, and we posted all of our minutes on the Code website. We decided to build membership. We would move our conferences to the regions, build local connections, and that also worked very well. I believe that we sistered very well with dance, really embracing and supporting the leadership of Laurel Brown and Carmelina Martin with Dance Fest and Dance Pulse. As a bit of a policy nerd, I was really excited to revise and amend the Constitution and bylaws of Code. Did that with an amazing team. We got it done. Additionally, we supported with resources when requested to by the ministry. We posted lots of lesson plans on our website. We also shifted Touchstone to an online publication, which helped to grow our readership. Sadly, I must mention that we lost our dear friend, Nora Morgan, in 2004, although her legacy lives on, vibrant and alive in our drama classrooms. I was followed by Donna Maria Barata and Wendy Gibbons. They were a pleasure to work with. I pass the torch to Wendy Gibbons.
Hello, I'm Wendy Gibbons. I first joined Code as Central West Regional Rep in 2000, and in 2007 I became president serving 2 terms. My time as president was exhilarating. It was a time of action, purpose, and outreach with a focus on networking, resource development, and efficacy. One of the first things I was involved in as president was officially registering our name change from the Council of Drama Educators to the Council of Ontario Drama and Dance Educators. And of course, this meant a new logo. The website was also completely overhauled to include a board page, a Join Now page, an advocacy page, and a search and filter function for our growing resource bank. It was also in this decade that another arts curriculum revision took place, and of course Code was involved. We recommended members for the writing team, we reviewed and commented on the revisions, and we created resources to support educators. With ministry grants totaling $600,000, we were able to create more than 100 dance and drama resources. The educators I worked with over my 11+ years with Code are incredible individuals who volunteered countless hours to advocate and support dance and drama teachers across the province. It was a time I will never forget, and I am proud to be a part of it.
Hello, I am Carmelina Martin, formerly a dance liaison for Code in the early 2000s. In 2004, the founder of Pulse, Ontario Dance Conference. Pulse came to fruition when Code tasked me as the dance liaison to connect with teachers from across the province. Ontario, being a very large province, required a strategy. And that strategy grew into a vision for building a 3-day gathering in the province of Ontario and bringing educators, artists, and dance students together to grow, learn, watch, and inspire each other. I shared that vision with Christine Jackson, who was the president of Code at the time. With her encouragement and support, I drew up a proposal and shared it with the board, who unanimously supported its vision. I built a team of volunteers from across the province, and in 2006 we had our inaugural Pulse Dance Conference at York University and started a tradition of developing partners from across the province, including universities and colleges and funders and artists and students. And this has been a tremendous journey with Code's support. In 2011, when Brooke Charlebois was the president and Mark Richard was the dance liaison, we had the honor and privilege to travel to Taiwan and present our model for building dance communities in a region with an international community at Dance in the Child International. It was a spectacular opportunity to share what we had done, and it became seen as an exemplary practice for other communities around the globe. My hope for the future of dance in Ontario is that there would be a new crop of teachers that would continue to refine and build this legacy of dance in Ontario and to keep telling our story. Thank you, Code, for all of these years of support and supporting my little dream and allowing it to just grow. Thank you.
One of the things I'm most proud of as being a past president of Code is being part of a history that traces back for 50 years. When I was just becoming president for the first time in 2012, it was the 40th anniversary conference. And during that conference, on the opening night, as people were milling about and socializing, I had the privilege of sitting down with Bob Barton, Helen Dunlop, and Juliana Saxton, founding members of Code. And they told me lots of stories about how Code began, tracing back to its very first conference 40 years earlier. And that was a really powerful moment for me to realize that not only is Code a conference, a website, it's got an amazing history, and I'm really proud to be part of that legacy and to have contributed to it in some way. And I'm really grateful to the people like Helen and Juliana and all the folks who started Code for creating that amazing legacy that continues today.
Connection, community, creativity. Code for me has always built positive, powerful relationships. It is a group of committed, innovative dance and drama educators who volunteer time to advocate for and with colleagues for excellence. It is people who embody critical consciousness, ask questions, play out possibilities, interpret moves. In 2014, it became clear that Code needed to update social justice work and needed a more explicit equity agenda and racially diverse board and membership. We need to represent who our students and our teachers are. At the 2016 annual general meeting, we changed bylaws to add the first equity liaison to the board. Code also worked in partnership with the Ministry of Education and the Aga Khan Museum to create new resources that highlight the Islamic diaspora. We began a critical resource review with an equity lens to update all the resources on the website. We entered into a relationship with FNMI EAO, the First Nation Métis Inuit Education Association of Ontario, and had a valuable 2017 retreat, learning essential truth and decolonizing our thinking. The retreat was instrumental in furthering the relationship between Code and FNMI EAO that led to workshops and learning experiences at future conferences. It was held on the territory of the Mississauga of the Credit, all hosted by Nancy Rowe at Akinomagaya Gamic, House of Learning. In these years, Code was asking, how will we move forward in a good way in relationships, decolonization, and equity work?
Jane DeLucio, Code President 2018 to 2020. This is my last day as Code President, and this message is my second last duty. Somewhat quoting Dickens, it was the best of times and the worst of times, the age of wisdom and of foolishness, the epoch of belief and incredulity, the season of light and of darkness. It was the spring of hope and it was the winter of despair. My presidency began in the time of a conservative majority and it ends in the time of COVID. The American election looms over us, as does the global climate crisis and social unrest. Political action and educational advocacy have framed all of our work. And when schools closed, we all stepped up despite our anxieties to protect and promote dance and drama by creating and sharing Code resources for the time. The 18 teachers on this board are outstanding in the classroom as pedagogical leaders, political advocates, without exception, collaborative, generous, hardworking, passionate, and always professional. So are the former presidents who reached out and helped us. In drama and dance, conflicting ideas are included, respected, and welcomed as indicative of the diversity of human nature and the all-embracing power of our work. We must continue to practice inclusivity rather than exclusivity, professional community rather than professional elitism. Drum and dance teachers are exemplary and have proven this throughout this worst of times. What a privilege it has been to lead Code for the past 2 years.
Thank you to Carmelina and our former presidents for all their words today. It is fitting that as we pass the torch on the next generation, we as drama and dance educators pass that torch on every day. The impact that we have on students is enormous. It cannot be discounted or underestimated. The impact of drama and dance in the classroom ripple out in all aspects of life and into the future. It is important that we hear from some of those voices today. As we listen to the small sample of students, I invite you to reflect on the many lives you've touched and transformed throughout your career.
Drama is important to me because it allows you to relate to others in a unique way. Drama teaches you to be empathetic, it teaches you to question the stories that you're told and also the stories that you want to tell. And I think above all, it teaches you how to communicate. And I think that I wouldn't be the communicator that I am today if it wasn't for drama education.
Dance education gave me a solid foundation of knowledge, not only in regards to my physical body and movement, but in my confidence and creativity as an artist and a human. It taught me discipline, focus, and teamwork, and it gave me a new form of expressing myself that I hadn't previously tapped into. And it's opened huge doors for me as a performer. Today, I'm living a healthier, happier, and more creative life thanks to the opportunity that I had of having access to an education in dance.
Drama and dance have given me so much. They've given me the courage to express myself in public. They've given me the chance to explore worlds that I could have never imagined. And they've given me lifelong friends that I'll never forget. The culture I come from doesn't place much emphasis on education in the arts. But if it weren't for my experiences in high school, I don't think I would be half the person that I am today. Though I'd probably still be in school for engineering. But that doesn't matter. It's important that drama and dance programs continue to grow, not only so that people who want to pursue careers in the field can be supported, but to show everyone that drama and dance are not just monologues and choreography. They're about fostering human connection. And that's something that we could all stand to learn from.
Drama has helped me in more ways than I can count. When I was 16, I had a stroke, and I used drama to reteach myself how to speak properly so that I could get the lead in the school play, and for many other things to keep me grounded, keep me level, keep me in school. I also used it for my future career. It comes in very handy when you have to talk to 48 different people a day at the hospital. Drama has impacted me in a positive way. There's a feeling of excitement and adrenaline that rushes through my body every time I'm on stage or in front of an audience. I love acting and I want to pursue it as my future career, so I enrolled in an acting program at Ryerson University, which is in the heart of downtown Toronto. Drama in school was always a safe space for me where I was able to express myself without judgments of others. It's important because it allowed me to develop skills in talking to others, speaking in front of others, and overall helped me figure out the best version of myself. It helped me through some of the toughest points of high school, and it's also very important in other courses because it helps you with those presentation skills and those public speaking skills.
Dance is important to me because it truly changed my life. It helped me come out of that little bubble and become brave. It helped me make friends. It helped me learn to express myself and be creative. Dance is such an important part of me and who I am as a person. I don't know where I would be without dance.
Drama and dance were essentially the first time in my life I was forced to think internally versus externally. And I think that helped me a lot with my own personal growth. And, I think that kind of education has so much value beyond just helping people who want to pursue a career in those fields. Because I think drama and dance are the only times that you learn how to tune into yourself. And, forcing students and people to embody these other perspectives can really allow them to develop an empathetic lens that can help them for the rest of their lives.
Drama is important to me because, quite frankly, I feel like it was the first thing I was good at. It gave me the confidence to turn myself from a awkward, cringing teenager into a relatively functioning, normal person, which is something I really needed as a teenager. I needed confidence, and drama gave that to me.
This weekend would have been the 50th anniversary conference for Code. Now, don't get me wrong, we enjoy the opportunity to reflect on Code's history, but man, it's going to be great to get everybody back together at our 2021 conference. And let's think of the 2021 conference as a summation of our year-long celebration of Code. There's nothing like being in a space full of artists and educators who get it, who understand the importance of drama and dance. Now, to introduce us to the 2021 conference, I'd like to introduce you to another one of our past presidents and co-chair of the conference, Brooke Charlebois.
Hi everyone, I'm Brooke Charlebois, co-chair of the Code Conference 2021. We look forward to welcoming you next fall, October 22nd to 24th at the Sheraton Hamilton.
And we are nearing the end of our look back on 50 years of Code. Thank you to everyone who took part in tonight. It was great to hear from past presidents and students and hear the impact that drama and dance and Code has had on them. Now, as we move into the next 50 years, the lessons of understanding, compassion, and creativity that are so rooted in drama and dance are going to become extremely crucial. So, in the middle of all of the work that you are doing, never forget that it is some of the most important work in the world. So, congratulations, Code, on 50 years. And now I'd like to toss it over to Matthew Sheehan to introduce one of the best people I know.
Again, I would like to thank my co-chair, Daniel Lalonde, and everyone who was involved in the Code's 50th anniversary celebration launch. I stated at the beginning of this celebration that Code has a long and storied history, and that we have a bright and vibrant future. Code is constantly evolving and changing. We develop and grow to serve our members. Our final words today are to come from a longtime Code member and my mentor. I am fortunate to be able to call this person a mentor, colleague, and most importantly, a friend. To close out our celebration this afternoon, please welcome Jane DeLuzio.
It is now time for me to perform my last official duty as president of Code. It is my absolute pleasure to introduce you to the new president of Code, Matthew Sheehan. I am passing him this candle with the utmost faith in his leadership abilities, teaching expertise, social justice values, work ethic, and passion for drama and for dance. Matt has been on the board for, I think, 8 years, and he's worked hard in the Eastern region, absolutely dedicated towards trying to expand CODE's vision across the province. CODE is in good hands. Ladies and gentlemen, Matthew Sheehan, CODE President 2020 to 2022.
Thank you, Jane. And thank you, everyone. And thank you for everything you've done and will do for CODE. Today has been a day filled with looking backwards at everything CODE has been and accomplished. We've heard from several past presidents and members of CODE and learned so much of the struggles, hurdles, and accomplishments over the past 50 years. We are all deeply indebted to the hard work of those who came before us, as presidents, board members, and partners in drama and dance education. Now we turn our attention to the future. In these trying times, advocacy for drama and dance is vitally important. CODE stands ready to work with our partners and stakeholders in education to do just that. Even though the times are uncertain, one thing that is not is our resolve to work with and for you, our membership. We are fortunate to have a brilliant, diverse, and experienced team on our management board that will continue to steer this ship through these choppy waters. I want to thank you all for spending some of your Saturday with us and remind you that this is a year of celebration and reflection that will culminate in our 50th celebration conference in Hamilton in October 2021. I can't wait until we are all able to meet in person and learn from each other once more. It is my privilege as the next president of CODE to bring this 50th celebration launch to a close. Have a lovely day and a fantastic rest of your weekend.